Number 15. Hair Pull. This demon isn't playing around. Facebooker Dimension Breaker shares footage of a young woman just walking down a hallway, minding her own business, when this happens. The woman appears to sense something in that dark room before that something attacks her. She peeks inside, decides there's nothing, and then is pulled into the abyss. Ghosts pulling hair is pretty commonplace in paranormal tradition. Such phantom interactions are often attributed to restless spirits attempting to communicate or express their displeasure. Particularly in the West, hair pulling exhibits the ghost's ability to cross the boundary between the ethereal and the physical world. But hair pulling isn't just a feature of Western paranormal tradition. In many Asian cultures, such as in Japan, the belief in vengeful spirits, or onryo, includes accounts of these entities physically attacking the living. This is viewed as a manifestation of the spirit's anger or unresolved issues from their life, often tied to a tragic or violent death. So, is this ghost angry, vengeful, or are there unresolved issues from their living days? So many questions without answers, and still one more remains. Where did the ghost take her? Number 14. Strange encounter. Any encounter in the woods can be off-putting, but this encounter, experienced by YouTuber Grizzly Gaz, is deeply unsettling. For a time, Grizzly Gaz is on his own, apart from his small dog.
Second bottle's nearly done.
But then, an unexpected visitor shows up.
Pot boiling for some mash. And I've got a visitor. Creeped up behind me asking me if I had a light. I shit my pants. This is Martin anyway.
Many in the comments think this stranger was following Gaz for longer than he knew. And in doing so, they believe he may have had dark intentions. YouTuber Mikey240688. Considering you're surrounded by twigs and fallen branches, the fact you didn't hear him until he made contact with you being right behind you tells me he had other ideas on his mind. As the night wears on, Gaz starts feeling the same way.
Didn't do much filming because of that lad, Martin, who creeped up behind me asking for a light. We were homeless, so I fed him some steak and some mashed potato, and he's gone on his way.
He tries to get the encounter out of his mind, but his paranoia grows.
Fed him, talking about life and how he got to where he is and drugs and whatnot. Turned round to cut some firewood up. When I turned back round, he'd gone. So, scanned about.
This odd behavior made Gaz think twice about overnighting in the woods.
Note's gone missing or out, he hadn't taken out. But the he just left without saying out has put the EBGBs up me.
Gaz thinks the man left abruptly for one of two reasons.
One, going to tell his mates there's a guy camping out with a load of filming equipment. And two, he's gone to score because he needs his fix. And even then, if he goes and scores, has his fix.
Many in the comments say it's smart of Gaz to trust his gut. Mufu Liramark writes, "Mate, I was a cop for 30 years, and that sixth sense was my lifesaver on a few occasions. Don't ever ignore it." Others are saying the scariest thing you can meet in the woods is not animal, it's man. Not to get into the man versus bear debate, but this seems like the perfect example of why more people would opt for the bear. Number 13. St. Elmo's Fire. A mountaintop, an electrical charge. It all comes together in the perfect storm that is St. Elmo's fire. Instagrammer Hardwire Media shares this footage of the weather phenomenon on a mountaintop in Arabia.
Я не знаю, что это происходит, из пальцев выходят. Так энергия какая-то или что, я не знаю, что это такое. Вот так я руку не поднимаю. И летят пальцы.
This fascinating phenomenon has intrigued and mystified sailors and scientists alike for centuries.
Мария, ты криво сделал мне. Оставь. Ай, один. Аллаху Акбар. Аллаху Акбар.
Named after the patron saint of sailors, this electrical weather occurrence manifests as a bright blue or violet glow, emanating from the tips of pointed objects, such as the masts of ships, church steeples, or even fingertips. The phenomenon has been documented since ancient times. Sailors in the Mediterranean Sea often regarded St. Elmo's fire as a good omen, believing it to be a sign of the saint's protection during storms. Christopher Columbus reported seeing St. Elmo's fire during his voyages, describing it as a guiding light in turbulent seas. Throughout history, many seafarers took comfort in this luminous glow, associating it with divine intervention and safety amidst nature's fury. But it's not created by divine intervention.
Выходят. Так энергия какая-то или что, я не знаю, что это такое. Вот так я руку не поднимаю. И летят пальцы. Два пальца поднял, зло будет.
St. Elmo's fire is a type of continuous electrical discharge, a plasma, caused by the ionization of air during thunderstorms. It occurs when the atmosphere becomes highly charged. The intense electrical field generated in these conditions causes the air molecules around a pointed object to ionize nitrogen and oxygen in the atmosphere and emit light. The phenomenon is similar to the electrical discharge seen around high-voltage power lines. While the phenomenon is generally harmless, it serves as a visual indicator of the presence of a strong electric field, often signaling that lightning may soon follow. So, while these guys oughtn't worry that they'll be burnt by this so-called fire,
Я не знаю, что это происходит, из пальцев выходят. Так энергия какая-то или что, я не знаю, что это такое. Вот так я руку не поднимаю. И летят пальцы.
they may be risking being struck by lightning. Number 12. Supercell. As a supercell lights up the sky over Denver, Redditor Snow Bunny Biscuit believes they've captured a phenomenon rarely seen: ball lightning. Although the sky alone looks impressive, what they're curious about is the purple light flashing in the darkness. Is it ball lightning? Ball lightning is one of the most debated phenomena in atmospheric science. Described as glowing, spherical objects that appear during thunderstorms, these mysterious balls of light range in size from a few centimeters to several meters in diameter. The balls can last from mere seconds to several minutes. Unlike regular lightning, which is a rapid discharge of electricity, ball lightning moves more slowly and unpredictably, sometimes floating near the ground or passing through windows and walls without causing damage. The nature of ball lightning remains elusive. Some scientists believe that much like St. Elmo's fire, ball lightning is a form of plasma, a hot, ionized gas that emits light. This theory suggests that the balls are formed from the ionization of air molecules during a lightning strike. Although this does look like similar videos of alleged ball lightning captured on camera, some in the comments think it's something else. Redditor Zen Again writes, "Some infrared sensor or something reflecting off the window you are filming through." Others agree, saying it looks like the iPhone sensor. Is it ball lightning or simply the OP's own cell phone. The only way to find out is to put the phone down, and no one is going to do that. Number 11. Haunted Cave. After being told about a haunted cave in the middle of the desert, YouTuber Field Days rose to the challenge. An overnighter in the cave, solo. Darkness, dripping water, moving air, acoustics that amplify sound. It's no wonder that caves have long had a haunted history. And this is founded in historical folklore. Many ancient civilizations, including the Greeks, Romans, and Mayans, believed caves were portals to the underworld or realms of the dead. The Greeks, for instance, had the Oracle of Delphi, where priestesses would descend into a cave to receive prophecies from the gods. In medieval Europe, caves were often associated with dragons, demons, and witches. Such beliefs rooted caves in the supernatural. So an overnighter, particularly in this haunted cave, is not for the faint of heart.
Which we are going to call home until it's morning. So once I go in, we are not coming back out of this cave until the sun comes up tomorrow morning. And if there is weird ghost activities or something like that.
He arrives at the entrance to the cave, and even before stepping inside, he gets the chills.
This is the entrance to the bedroom for the night, and it is not what I expected at all. Quickly have a look at this. Hello?
Getting inside is its own feat.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna jump on this shonky ladder, which goes way down there. And once we get inside the cave, there is no leaving.
And once inside, there's no going back.
Okay, outside world, I'll see you tomorrow morning when we're climbing out of this cave.
Exploring the caves throws up so many red flags.
What's this hole? Oh my, what goes down there? That is hectic. Do you reckon I can get in there?
From small tunnels to large caverns, there seems to be no end to the haunted cave.
Oh, this is creepy, man.
As he's exploring, he starts to hear noises in the darkness.
It's just something I've never heard before. Very strange sound. The first one was a rock falling. Way over there somewhere there was a rock which is just sort of like... The second sound, I froze, man. I was like frozen, like I couldn't move. I was just waiting for something just to like whack.
Just as he's getting settled in for dinner, he hears the strangest noise yet.
In a haunted cave. On my... That was the sound. That is the sound. Did you hear that? Look at my arms.
It almost sounds like chains being dragged. In fact, that's exactly what he thinks it is.
That you climb down into this cave on, it's moving. Now, you can't move that chain with wind. It's way too heavy. There is no wind coming in here. There's no wind even for...
As the chain is heard clanging even more violently, his fear grows.
I've got my backpack back on, and I'm booting on out of here. I just heard a sound. The bats, can you listen to this? Just listen for 2 seconds. You hear the bats?
The not normal sound he heard was heard off camera, so it's not clear what it was. But he's taken the disturbance of the bats as another hint that something isn't right down here. Still, he stays in the cave, sticking near the entrance for a time. But again, he hears the inhuman noise.
The only way I can describe this noise, it's between a cat hissing and it sounds like human voice. Like, I'm not even joking, it sounds human-like. I can't even make the sound with my mouth. It's an extremely...
Whatever is in there could be literally anything. Animal? Possibly. Human? Maybe. Humanoid? Probably. Who wants to stick around to find out? Number 10. Mausoleum of Terror. YouTuber Franco TV passed a fearful night in this Mausoleum of Terror. As he comes across a creepy bed of sunflowers, he hears a scream in the night.
And they grew pretty quick unless they were planted. You heard that? I just heard another scream.
He then encounters a desecrated tomb.
Looks like somebody desecrated this tomb. I don't know if that bag was with the body or what. El Modro Ramos Acosta.
He arrives at a statue where he'd heard something on a former visit. And he hears something again.
Alright, I'm now making it to the backside of the cemetery. Right there where that statue is right where I heard the... What the was that?
A little further on, he places a REM pod at the top of a crypt and descends into it.
Make my way inside. I don't even see the ball.
On a previous visit here, this happened.
Oh my... Nope.
Despite the past experience, he descends, and the REM pod responds to him.
Can I come inside? Can you give me permission to come inside? Is that a yes?
Franco decides against entering, which is probably for the best. He continues around the cemetery and is getting a creepy feeling from these nearby tombs. As he approaches, this happens.
Hello? Ricardito? It just opened. The door just opened up. ¿Tú quieres que yo entres?
He looks down into the tomb, and it's too spooky.
I'll turn on my light again, hold on. I can't see anything. Can you open it again for me? ¿Tú puedes abrirlo otra vez?
As it's about time for Franco to leave, he sees a figure in one of the tombs.
I still want to keep exploring, even though I have to leave in the next 20 minutes. There's something in there.
Still not knowing what it is, he decides to go the other way.
I don't know if that's a face or what is that. I'm not gonna bother with it because the last thing I want to do is piss someone off, but I did hear banging coming from here. Oh, that is creepy.
What do you think this is? Is it a mummy coming to life? Is it a grave robber? I don't know what it is, but if I was Franco, I'd be turning around too. Number 9. Poltergeist activity. TikToker Domadios has experienced a series of mysterious events that may point to poltergeist activity in his home. He documents these experiences in a series of videos on TikTok, all of which occurred when he was home alone. Take a look.
What the? Oh, what the? Hello? Hello? I swear you better.
Many in the comments advise Domadios not to show fear. But how can you avoid it when this happens?
I literally just had that door thing happening. And now I have that happening. There is nobody in there. And now I have my freaking lights going on and off when I'm trying to sleep.
As his lights turn on and off, he becomes increasingly panicked.
How is anybody supposed to sleep? What the? Hello?
Some in the comments are hearing the name Connor.
Hello?
Others are seeing a shadow peek out from the bathroom at this point.
And like, how is anybody supposed to sleep? What the?
And it doesn't end there. In a third video, the OP is getting ready for work when multiple doors start moving on their own.
Hey guys, just waking up, getting ready for work, and here we go once again. We got this door moving. We got my bathroom door moving. Hey, please stop, spirits. Please.
Then, the poltergeist takes it to the next level.
I'm actually, like, honestly scared to go check right now, because what if something's like... Oh. Please stop. Please.
The OP checks all the closets and again finds nothing. The poltergeist seems to be escalating. It's throwing things now. In another clip, he arrives home from work to a creaking door, only for his brave cat to spring into action.
Stop. I said stop. Kitty? Kitty? Stop. I said stop.
He looks around the room, and as he does, this happens.
Door. Spirits, this is enough. I said stop. Enough is enough. Okay. I said stop.
Although the OP is becoming firmer with the spirit, it has yet to listen. In fact, things take a terrifying turn. In another clip, he's woken up in the night to the most nightmarish manifestation yet. The entity has escalated. What will happen next? Domadios has become desensitized to the activity, as witnessed in the final clip. He doesn't sound as fearful anymore. Instead, he's just annoyed. And maybe it's this apathy that finally gets the ghost to listen.
Stop. Turn it off. I need to sleep. Thank you. Now leave.
Although it takes him many times asking the ghost to stop and to leave, it seemingly does in the end. But it's TikTok's general opinion that there's a strong probability this isn't the end. Number 8. Bar Ghost. There are one too many instances of unexplained activity in this English bar to dismiss. Redditor T Always Helps is wondering if there are ghosts in the bar they work at, or just dodgy shelves. Take a look at this first clip. A glass falls from its place on the second shelf without explanation. In another clip, it happens again, this time with bar attendants nearby witnessing it firsthand. Then, a third clip captures a signboard falling over in the back kitchen. The OP notes that the bar, restaurant, and kitchen are notoriously haunted. They write, "I don't believe in ghosts, but I'm gonna ask the Reddit world what they think." The Reddit world answers with a resounding yes. Redditor Hoku Hoku writes, What I find interesting here is the manner in which those glasses are tipped over. Irish Exit agrees, adding, the glasses are on mats on those shelves, which makes slipping off harder. The LP notes that they've worked there for 16 years, and a few glasses have smashed for no apparent reason, which adds to the mystery. Many are saying this is absolutely, without a doubt, poltergeist activity. In another post, the OP adds a fourth clip that another staff member submitted for further ghostly confirmation. Redditor Cousin Sarah, who is a bartender herself, suggests that this is a frequent occurrence in bars. They say it often happens when water is left on the rim of a glass, combined with any sort of vibration. While some are still clinging to poltergeist, this one is hit or miss. Science may be the answer. Number 7. Parking lot sleep. Van life is appealing in a number of ways. It allows flexibility, adventure, minimalism, and financial freedom. It's becoming a reality for many. YouTuber Rody B is one of them. He lives in his truck. But along the way, he's learned one of the dark sides about this way of life is its lack of security. And this video is why Rody B never sleeps in parking lots.
So it was probably around like 1:30 in the morning when I heard someone walking around my truck. And whenever you're sleeping, somewhere public and you hear somebody walking around outside your truck, it's always a little bit alarming.
Imagine being in this vulnerable position, asleep, in the darkness, with nothing between you and this stranger but your car door. As Rody B watches the man out his window, the man starts taking pictures.
I'm not sure why he was doing this, so I thought maybe, I wasn't allowed to park there and he was taking pictures of my license plate, but it's kind of odd to be doing that at 1:30 in the morning, and he didn't look like a security guard or anything like that.
The stranger then returns to the front of the vehicle. It hasn't become any clearer what his motives are.
And tries to shine his flashlight into the back of my camper shell, you'll see here in a second, and I just bang on the window. But yeah, that was basically it. He took off and
Some in the comments have theories as to what the man is doing. YouTuber Thomas Tidewater writes, he needs drug money, so he steals cars. He started taking pictures so he could send the pics to the chop shop to see if they were interested in that make, model, and year, before he took the risk of stealing it. Others suggest keeping a key fob on hand to sound the alarm at a moment's notice. Some say that parking lots can be safe to overnight in. It just depends. Suggestions range from Walmart parking lots to hospital lots to truck stops. Anything that's 24 hours and has cameras and some traffic at all hours. While it's likely the guy was scouting out the vehicle for potential theft, luckily he didn't make it that far. Who knows what could have happened if he'd broken in. Number 6. Fourth dimensional being. A security camera captured an invisible ship releasing amorphous illuminated beings to the Earth's surface. Instagrammer Bien Forever shares this creepy footage of the event unfolding somewhere in the US. The light being, or beings, glide to Earth and then are seen making their way off into the distance. Many in the comments are noting how the being skips along, like it's happy to be here. Instagrammer Josh the Finance Guy writes, if these are fourth dimensional beings, then they would be purely light or energy, which are the same. If a 4D being came into a 3D dimension, it would look like an orb or a bundle of light, just like this. Is this a fourth dimensional being? It may be. To expand a bit on Josh the Finance Guy's theory, a fourth dimensional being exists in a realm that transcends the three-dimensional space we are accustomed to. In our three-dimensional world, we experience length, width, and height. A fourth dimensional being, however, would perceive and interact with an additional dimension, commonly conceptualized as time or a spatial fourth dimension. Such a being would have a different perception of reality compared to humans. While we see objects as three-dimensional shapes, a fourth-dimensional being would see them in their entirety across all dimensions, potentially viewing the inside and outside simultaneously. For instance, if they looked at a book, they might see all pages at once, including their contents and how they are connected, not just the cover and the pages one at a time. A fourth dimensional being would also possess extraordinary abilities to move through space in ways incomprehensible to us. In the same way we can move forward, backward, left, right, up, and down, it could potentially move through the fourth dimension. This might allow them to appear and disappear from our perspective as they shift in and out of our three-dimensional plane. Describing the physical form of a fourth dimensional being is challenging, as it transcends our knowledge. However, if we were to catch a glimpse, it might appear as a constantly shifting, incomprehensible mass, as parts of their form intersect with our three-dimensional space in unpredictable ways. That sounds applicable to what we're seeing here. And if we're really looking at a fourth-dimensional being right now, then who knows what comes next? Number 5. Work Ghost. While recording his routine after work, this man faced something that wasn't on the books.
Yo queriendo grabar mi rutina y pasa esto.
TikToker El Susoy TV shares footage of this disruption to a routine closing shift. Watch closely as a shadow figure shifts past on the other side of the glass. The man panics as he just cleared the store and locked the front door. He rushes out of the back room to check it out, but there's no one there. What just happened? TikTokers are shocked by what they're seeing. Dan Man writes, "I'd leave immediately. Whatever it was can work the rest of my shift." Others with a keen eye say there's a camera cut, and you can tell by the way the bottles of water and soda stop moving suddenly. Watch closely. It does look like this might be the case. And if that's so, then this guy may have been the shadow figure too. Didn't see that Shyamalan twist coming. Number 4. Hospital Ghost. A ghost is lurking around this old empty hospital building in Chhattisgarh, India. And YouTuber Pradeep Kumar Bangde's blood is about to run cold. As he enters, the building itself is a full-on creep show. But it's later, as he's passing this doorway, that something incredibly bone-chilling is captured. Keep an eye out for the gurney in the hallway. When he turns back around, the figure is gone. What was that? One common report in hospitals is of patients and staff seeing the forms of the deceased in areas where deaths frequently occur, such as emergency rooms, intensive care units, and morgues. These ghostly figures often appear briefly and just as quickly vanish, leaving witnesses shaken and confused. This does look like a body laid out dead. Is it a ghostly corpse? That may be the case, and if so, someone should give it a good push into the afterlife. Number 3. Curtain ghost. What's it like to live in a haunted house? YouTuber Our Life in Washington knows, and he's gotten so used to it that nothing phases him.
Rabbit here. Got a little Chewy just kind of chilling out here. I swear the shower curtain just moved.
After he pulls the shower curtain wide, only to find nothing there, he looks around the other side just to make sure.
That is weird. Anyway, things happen in this house.
Still nothing. Chewy looks a bit mystified as well. Bathroom ghosts are often seen as preying on the living's vulnerabilities.
Got a little Chewy just kind of chilling out here. I swear the shower curtain just moved.
For those who believe in the paranormal, haunted bathrooms are often seen as sites of residual energy or portals. The water element, present in bathrooms, is thought to amplify spiritual energy, making it easier for ghosts to manifest. Look, one is manifesting now. Don't let them draw you into their portal. Number 2. Lights in the sky. These strange lights in the sky over Redditor Strumstrum's home has them worried about potential extraterrestrial abduction. A series of 4 or 5 lights blink off and on. They appear to be beaming upward. While most in the comments agree it's not extraterrestrial, not many agree on what exactly these lights are. Redditor Quachus says they're most likely searchlights since they seem to converge at the same point. They share this image. Many in the comments disagree, however, saying if they were searchlights, you'd see them coming from the ground. But Quachus counters, it baffles me that people don't know how light interacts with atmosphere. No, the beam will not come from the ground unless it's in foggy-like conditions. The light bounces off the vapor, which is why in the case of searchlights, you can see it in the clouds, but not on the ground, unless you have the right conditions, like fog. But others in the comments add that searchlights don't pulse. Flight for Fright X writes, pulsating lights are not useful for search and rescue. It confuses and disorients. It is just common sense. So how do you explain this? Can't Touch This in the comments says there's a large estate that hosts events 2 miles away, and they often see similar lights in the sky from these events. This seems to be the most likely explanation. Or maybe our extraterrestrial neighbors are just having a jam session in the clouds. Number 1. Remains uncovered. What would you do if you found human remains on your land? Redditor Ross Ion Q1's land was once part of an old rice and cotton plantation. It also had a cemetery for slaves, though they don't know the exact location. After a heavy rainfall recently, this was uncovered. Take a closer look. It looks like the corner of a coffin. But some in the comments are saying it's unlikely to be slavery related. One archaeologist in the comments, Redditor Janax21, has done work on these types of plantations and believes it could be a coffin, but is more likely to be that of a white person, as most slaves were either buried directly or in pine boxes that would have disintegrated. They write, "I've seen metal coffins, but they're rare and were purchased or used by rich people in a really narrow period of time. If one exists on your family land, it'll almost certainly be in a known white cemetery." The Redditor also thinks it could be something other than a coffin, suggesting a feature related to the rice-growing watering system or a root cellar for storage. Another former archaeologist, MN Key Magic, offers some advice, writing, "If you find what you believe to be human remains, there are 2 steps to follow. Call your local law enforcement to ensure they aren't connected to any modern cases. Call your local or state university and get in contact with the archaeology department. If it's a historical site, it should be documented, mapped, and then either excavated or protected. While this may not be something as grisly as a coffin, it could be practically anything, which is something the internet cannot comprehend.